Hello from the hello, my lovely viewers. This is the Unmasked Agenda, and you're here with your friendly neighborhood agitator, Cliff Cawthon. And I am honored to be joined by Miss Kiesha B of Hey Black Seattle. How you doing, Kiesha? Yeah?
I'm good. I'm here with the agitator. So.
Yeah. I gotta say, first of all, I love your energy. I love what you're doing, and I can't wait to dive in. Second of all, I have to apologize because you look so professional, and I look like I just walked off a picket line, or I just came from, like, I don't know, the bar or something.
It's bringing comfort.
Yeah.
It's it's a rainy day. Look ready for the day.
Thank you, but I think we both agree we shouldn't do this in sweatpants, right?
Fair.
No sweatpants and Crocs. Okay. Because as an educator, I'm not gonna lie, I feel so old when I look at some students these days and they're just in sweatpants and Crocs. They're like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, those are pajamas.
It's uniform now. You gotta give it uniform.
Right. Come on, at least put on some jeans. Come on, man. But anyway, so as our viewers know, we exist at the intersection between politics and pop culture. And for myself, the huge nerd, very much into the sci-fi, horror, fantasy, lore, and bubble around us, but also that I am a major fan of Afrofuturism and the art of our people, whether that is talking about the future, where it's talking about fantasy, whether it's talking about horror noir, as we see that is killing it right now at the box office. And for you're using your art to create a space of community for Black Seattle. And I guess my first question is, can you tell us a little bit about Hey Black Seattle and what gave you the idea to start Hey Black Seattle?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. Hey Black Seattle is really designed to be a central hub of connection, of information for the Black community within the Central Puget Sound. And so even though the name says Seattle, it really is for the counties that are surrounding this entire metro area. So we got King, Pierce, Snohomish, Kitsap, Island, Thurston. So really just trying to acknowledge the fact that Seattle proper, a lot has happened.
Right.
People got dispersed. Yeah. And so our people are not just in Seattle, they are spread out in a lot of places. And so Hey Black Seattle is meant to be a place that is easy for people to type on into the little URL browser and find us. It's for us to find us. So there's directory of profiles of healthcare providers, businesses, artists, all sorts of things, community organizations. That's really where it began, was a lot of community organizations. And then there's fun events calendar. I think most people know about that. Job board, place where you can look for scholarships, real estate products. You can book products there.
I found a realtor on there.
Nice.
Yeah, and also I found some grocery stores on there. And believe it or not, there is a fun event coming up soon, probably, right? Isn't there?
Fun event?
Yeah. Something about being planted and rooted.
Freshly planted, deeply rooted. That is our upcoming event that is all about bridging divides within Black communities. So I'm saying plural because there is a Black community, but there are micro communities within this larger Blackness. And so with all those different communities, there are areas where we're not hearing each other. And so I wanted to create a space that was specifically designed just for us to address some of those things, and we can hear each other and come to some more compassion and some more understanding across nodes of Blackness.
And one thing we're going to talk about in a little bit is we're going to start mapping out, I don't know what I want to call it an ecosystem, but that socio-system, or that dug into with our constellations of Blackness, right?
I love a good constellation.
Yeah. Just think of all of us being stars, just dispersed throughout the region. And actually, you know what? I'm glad that you specified communities. Specified communities because, I think for many of folks out there, for many of us, that we're no longer just living in the central area. We're no longer living in, in the South End. Many of us I've moved up north to Snohomish County, like you said, Kitsap, as far as Thurston County, and yet we still have this narrative that is based around one part of the region in terms of being rooted, right? So one thing I've noticed from your work is like you expand that definition, that idea of being rooted. So I'm wondering, what does that mean to you?
So when I think about being rooted here,
right,
and then there's so many things that you just said that I want to
tap onto. Please go on.
So I'm going to get to the rooted, but I'm going to go back to what you were saying about why I started Hey Black Seattle. And it kind of taps into this notion of when I got here, I was working in corporate America, and it wasn't like I didn't see any Black people, but I only saw certain Black people. I only saw certain Black people frequently, but I knew I had friends who were from this area who are deeply rooted here with families going back generations here. So I knew that there were more Black people than the ones I was seeing just inside of my corporate environment. But I was in it. I was a mom doing all the things. I was just in that environment with just those people. And so once I left corporate America, and I said to myself, I was like, I want more arts community, because that's a part of my life that I really want to lean back into a lot harder. I was doing stand-up comedy at the time.
Oh, really?
And I started getting I got community around that. And I saw how easy it was when you lean into your passions to just start building community around the thing that you're in. So I had a whole bunch of comedian homies. And then I was like, well, let me just keep going. Let me get back into the theater of it all. Let me get back into the poetry of it all. Let me get back into the painting and photography. And it was just, I continued to find like even more Black people I never met. Look at some more Black people I never met. Look at some more. And so that whole activity for me became what I started thinking of, like, I wonder if these people even know each other. So let me take all my skills that I have, because I've built physician finders in different lives. I was here at Microsoft working on all sorts of tools for them, for people finding exercise things. I was a tool builder and a negotiator for partnerships and that kind of stuff. So I took that and I was like, let me build this thing that will help not just me, but other people who might want more Blackness in their life. And maybe they're not converging. Maybe they're not converging. And so it's been really beautiful to see these micro communities have visibility into more people that they might not know about.
And, wow, so much of what you said aligns and really sparks something with my experience. And for those that are listening out there, I hope it sparks something with your experience as well, because, because one of... by the way, just want to say thank you to a commenter in there. Appreciate the shout out, and also I'm glad that you are using the website as a resource, because that sense of surprise that there are so many Black folks in these different pockets, whether it's comedy, whether it's in corporate the corporate world, whether it is in acting and art and all these different spaces, where sometimes we're the only one, especially in a place like Seattle. It feels, they talk about the Seattle freeze, but also there's that Black alienation, or rather that alienation of our Blackness in that space,
Yeah, and you move here, and it's so easy to believe what you hear, which is there's no Black people. There's no Black people. So, because if you move here and all the people that you work with are not Black, and you go to the grocery store, wherever you are, maybe you don't see Black people there. If you are in an environment, so I got moved when the company moved me out here, they put me in Bellevue.
Oh, Bellevue, okay.
Look the way you said that.
Yes.
So I'm on the east side, and at the time, I was like, well, they said ain't no Black people. I knew differently, but I could see how if you move here and that's your experience, how you can believe what you heard.
Indeed.
And what I'm trying to do is get to people before the propaganda gets to the people. I want to be so loud about the fact that there's Black people here that you don't even have time to believe that there's no Black people here. I don't even let people joke about that around me.
Right.
Because to the point you were making about what does it mean to be rooted, some people are here, been here, Black history here, so deep. But I moved here with a 3-year-old. That child does not remember New Jersey or Brooklyn. She don't remember none of where she was born. She remember this is home. And when my kid grows up, she's going to say, I'm from Seattle.
Right.
These are her roots. And so I can't come here being like Louisiana, Atlanta, all the places that I've been, and just think that the pride I have in those places just naturally oozes on into her, because this baby is, she considers Seattle her roots.
Right.
And so it's, for me, as this is part of how I'm mothering too. This is what I'm doing for community, but this is also how I'm mothering and helping my kid take pride in the place where she has roots.
That's beautiful. And also the O was because, you know, I think there's some interesting intersections between like not just that like consciousness of Blackness around you, and also the class consciousness as well, because you know, I feel like you kind of alluded to that when you were like, yeah, I saw some folks that look like me in corporate environments, but there's specific people who look like me in those environments, not necessarily a diverse like range of experiences of different lives, even though, you know, they may be skin folk, not always kinfolk. But
and it's easy to then forget when you're always surrounded by people who are, even if they're Black, but we're operating in these corporate spaces. It's easy to forget the impact of the things that you're doing in those spaces on people who are not in that space. And so I think it's really important for Black people to remain rooted in some of the more like a well-rounded sense of community that's outside of a professional space.
Exactly.
That's a highly curated experience in there. And it is not the majority Black experience, to be honest.
Oh yeah, 5,000%. Hell, I come from policy, and I can definitely, that is definitely very true in many of these spaces of power and privilege. You know, it's not to say that there are some of us that are not. You know, that's not to say we do not have our own power. It's not to say we do not.
I was thinking about that.
Right. Yeah, at the, you know, but
spaces of resource hoarding. No.
There we go. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real about corporate America. It's like, you know, five was it like the top 1 to 5% hoards like about over 50% of the nation's wealth. Come on now, you
very well resourced. But yeah, I had to make sure that I stayed reminded of the other power that we have.
Yes.
Even if we've been disconnected from resource, we have other resources to draw from.
So in that case, I think we kind of answered a few of the questions I had lined up, and also I almost was this close to going on a little bit of an anti-capitalist rant there. So I'll steer back. I'll steer back. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, no. Hey, you're the guest. You talk all you want. I've been talking too much. So like, let's bring it back to something that one of our friends, a friend of the show, shout out to Marcus Harrison Green in the Meantime podcast. Proud of you, bro. So he, you know, we are talking about community, and I just love the flow we have so far. But he said something specific that I want to. It really kind of expands on what you were saying about different communities. I'm going to kind of change up a little bit from what I had. So he said that there's not a singular Black community. We already established that there's more of a constellation of different folks in different pockets of that. And if you were to try to create like an ethnography of Seattle, or rather of the Central Puget Sound Black community, like what does that look like, and really how do you think we could create like a collective yet a diverse narrative among ourselves, so we can say, no, we've been here since the beginning and this is us? Sorry, I know that might have been a little out there, but
no, I mean, it's ethnography. Let's go. So when I think about Seattle, one thing that I notice and appreciate about this region is that global Blackness is here.
Yes.
Global Blackness. So there are people from all across the different regions of the United States, but then there's also people from all sorts of other countries here as well. There's tons of people from the Caribbean, all sorts of countries from the continent are represented here. So we have global Blackness here.
Yes.
And I think it's just a matter of then tapping into like, well, where are those folks? How connected are they? Like, there's a lot of intra-community connectedness for some of those pockets. But I don't know how much we are coming together with that awareness being like the biggest, like being the point. with us coming together, being like, yes, we are all here. We are all people who are experiencing anti-Black oppression. But how do we see each other?
Right.
How do we understand each other's different, unique ways
Right.
that anti-Blackness is bearing down on our different lives? I think that is something that I would love to see in Seattle, is like this beautiful Black diasporic coming together, and this is kind of what we're doing on April 4th, is like intentionally trying to make sure that we have all sorts of different communities of Blackness coming together to process, like, wait a minute, okay, so we have Haitian community here.
Yeah.
What are our people going through? And are people caring enough about what they're facing, and what are the ways that different policies and different things that are bearing down on their lives, like what's happening? And I think that people might be like, well, I'm not Haitian, I'm Black, but why should I care?
Right.
And I'm like, no, I think that you should.
Well, yeah, you absolutely should. I mean, one of the first things the Trump administration did was he took away temporary protected status from Haitians. And then what did we see on the streets of Minneapolis? That you had ICE not just come after Somalis, but stop anyone that was Black. Even if they were like, I was born here, I came up here, listen to the sound of my voice, but just saw this and was like, well, show me your papers. In the year of our Lord, 2026, show me your papers.
Show me your papers. The tools of anti-Blackness are being used on our people across all these different identities. And if you remain ignorant to the specific tool that goes to this community, just because that's not the one you're a part of, you are leaving yourself a little unprotected, but also you're leaving your comrades unprotected as well. Exactly. And that's just whack.
It is whack indeed.
If I may be so 80s about it.
No, it's all right. Like, go on, sisters. Like, sound off, because we are all we are here for the nostalgia of the before 4 times. Yeah, right. So one question that I think this slides really well into the next question is right now, at least on the local level, because I mentioned what's happening on federal level, local level. I'm curious as to how you generally feel about this current local administration when it comes to not just like Black life in Seattle. And I mean, Seattle is like the major city, but also just in general, because I mean, Mayor Wilson, so it hasn't even been 100 days yet, but we've seen a lot of movement on things. We've seen a lot of promises during the campaign. She got a lot of flack during the campaign. And also there's been a lot of talk from folks in the community about how they feel about what's happening now, for good and for bad. And I'm curious, I guess either you can start broad or on a specific issue, but how you feel about the current administration here in Seattle?
Well, I might be a bit of a political cynic.
Go ahead.
To a degree, in that sometimes I look at, elected officials and I'm like, it almost doesn't matter to me who is in the seat, because I feel like the system itself is so constructed where it's deeply resistant to any of the type of change that I want to see in the world. It's really constructed so that whoever is in that seat, be it Mayor Wilson, former Mayor Harrell, like whoever it is going to have to like do all of this kind of negotiating with ghouls, to like do anything. And so then the question becomes, okay, well, the people, what are we as a collective willing to demand and act in accordance with?
What's the people's agenda?
What's the people's agenda? So the people might say, I want housing to be more affordable.
Fair. That. I think a lot of people do say that. So
they say that.
That's a good start.
And then the people will support and cheer for and not give enough grief, I think, to maybe large corporations that do things that are in the opposite direction of that goal. So if the people are backing the corporation, and whoever is sitting in that chair is trying to go up against the corporation, you don't have the people's actions with you. You just have their words. You have nothing. Yeah. And so whatever we have in terms of administration and power and being able to move something forward is going to depend on what we, the people, decide that we're willing to show up for and stand behind. And so our actions and our demands kind of have to come together a little bit more.
So, you have this background in corporate America, and you said something that really struck a chord with me, because a lot of the things we interact with every single day aren't actually, I don't want to say not controlled, because there's definitely regulations that, local state governments put in place, federal regulations, but every single day when we walk out of our homes, we are interacting with capital. We're interacting with, corporations and the power that they hold. And I'm wondering, from your perspective, that the companies in Seattle, do you think, I'm not even going to ask if they're doing right by us, because I know the answer to that, but like, what are your feelings on how they should be held accountable and how they're impacting us?
Oh, there's a lot there. And
we got time.
We got time, but I don't even know if I have the expertise to dig into all the ways that they're doing wrong, because I feel like every month I discover a new horror. Right. And I am a person who's very interested in the well-being of my people. I'm a person who used to be, embedded in the machine, helping to build things. Right. I'm somebody's mama. But I am no expert in the policies and the things and the ways that they're working around all the stuff to do harm to people. I can just see from what I take in as a layperson, like, well, that doesn't look good. There's all these tools that are being built with technology to say all the tech is big here. This is a big tech center, and it feels like the things that are being built are largely just unregulated. They kind of do what they want to do, build what you want to build. AI, and that's where I was working. I was on the Intelligent Cloud AI team, negotiating deals for people to build AI solutions all over the world. That's what I was doing. And so when I think about the people who were building those things and the things that were motivating them, I think about people doing career work, trying to advance their careers, trying to get promotions, trying to be lauded as an innovator. I don't necessarily think that the people that I was working with, they didn't go into work that day thinking, I want to do harm today. But they also weren't I wonder how this is going to affect Kiesha's grandmother.
Right.
So people need some guardrails.
Exactly.
And I don't think that they're there. And so you multiply that time. That's one sector. That same type of lack of humanity being considered is happening in all sorts of industries. The music industry is destroyed. You can just go to each industry that has gotten so big that it's considered a major industry, and you can find inhumanity there. And so who is really stepping strong and saying no, this is inhumane? And it's hard to do that with the system that we have, because like I said, negotiations with people who are doing ghoulish things, because you're it's not politically survivable if I say, you can't cross this line because people will die. When you can't say don't cross this line because people will die, because then you'll lose your job.
Yeah, then you might want to reconsider some things, right?
I got a problem with that. These are the ways where I'm I'm not as savvy with will this function and this policy and this structure. I don't know that, but I do know that people are crossing lines and people are dying because of business decision they're making, and nobody's stopping them because they don't want to lose their position or they don't want to lose their power. And they're well, if I lose power, I won't be in here to make change. Well, the change that you're not making right now means people are dying.
I'll push back on one thing. It sounds like you actually have a lot of exceptional perspectives and experience, because
sucks though.
Yeah,
sucks to know all that.
It's kind of goes back to the oldest not catch-22, but the oldest curse in the book, knowledge, right? Where if you're full, kind of goes back to what was it, James Baldwin, I think, said it, to be black and conscious in this country today is to I'm paraphrasing, constant state of rage. And for you, having worked in the field of AI that is being quickly integrated into government functions, into healthcare, into education, across the board, and like you said, with disparate impacts happening, yet it is not being fully acknowledged, considered, or really the industry isn't even, it doesn't sound like the industry is adjusting to really compensate for it, right? So yeah, and by the way, before I forget, I know we only have a minute left, so when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about. I just want to dive into freshly planted and deeply rooted, so we can talk a little bit more about the diaspora and hopefully come back to this point around. Well, from your experience, AI, no, we won't like talk the whole time about that, but I really do want to talk more about how you think all these this, I guess, new phenomenon could potentially be either be an asset, because some people are urging us to like dive in, and also whether you think we should dive in, you know. So and with that, you are listening to the Unmasked Agenda here on Rainier Avenue Radio. I'm here with Miss Kiesha B Free, and we'll be right back after these messages. Also, remember, donate to @Rainier Avenue Radio if you have a few extra bucks on Venmo, and that is @Rainier Avenue Radio, or online at rainierAvenueradio.world/donate. And also, Earth deserves a little bit more than a day. Maybe we should do a month, an Earth month. So we are going to have a week of environmental justice programming here on Rainier Avenue Radio from April 20th to 25th, right after my birthday. Right on. Hey. All right. And we'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for this? This is Rainier Avenue Radio.world, the station that cares about our community. Right here.
Yeah. South Seattle, this one's for you. Join us for the annual Basketball Empowerment Camp honoring the legendary Slick Watts. The theme, thanks for the love. This is more than basketball. This is about community. Look, all ages, all genders, co-ed, and the whole family. You can expect skill building, wellness activities, family workshops, community resources, and a co-ed 3-on-3 tournament for youth, adults, and there'll be a special celebrity division. We're building stronger families and safer communities by honoring Slick's legacy the right way, by bringing the village together. Look, you can register now and come be part of something powerful at Fathers and Sons Together.org, or search Fathers and Sons Together on Eventbrite.
Wellspring of Life brings to you freedom, life, peace, joy, breakthroughs, miracles, salvation, hope, and much more. The life that Jesus Christ brings to humanity. Listen to Rainier Avenue Radio every Friday at 1 p.m. with Pastor Johnny Goroya.
Women are not an homogenous group.
We face discrimination differently depending on factors such as ethnicity, age, socioeconomic status, and more.
Rainier Avenue Radio is proud to amplify women's voices.
They are the experts of their own lives, initiating conversations within their community about challenges they face, the solutions they're working on, and the opportunities they see.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 for Women's Voices on Air. We know our challenges. We are the experts of our lives.
We are master multitaskers, prioritizing our family, friends, and our faith above our own needs.
Our needs and voices are too often overlooked.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. for Women's Voices on Air.
We tell our stories in our own way.
A teacher who hurt their back and got prescribed opioids. A daughter trying to cope with a loss in the family. A friend silently struggling, thinking they'll be a burden if they ask for help. People with addiction come from all walks of life, and the truth is they stand a better chance at recovery with our support. Reaching out and sharing local resources can make all the difference. Don't count them out. More people recover with support. Find more ways to help at supportaddictionrecovery.com. That's supportaddictionrecovery.com.
You know you can't get enough of Rainier Avenue Radio. .world.
Anyway, here on Rainier Avenue Radio, and I'm here with our illustrious guest, Miss Kiesha B of Hey Black Seattle. And anyway, we were just, I was captivated by your thoughts around AI, and I know I mentioned that we would pick up on that, but I want to first pivot a little bit and talk a bit about your upcoming event, Freshly Planted, Deeply Rooted, on April 4th. I believe, is it from 12 to 2?
12 to 4.
12 to 4, thank you. So can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yes, so first I'll tell you a little bit about the origins of it. So one of the things that I used to do when I first was starting Hey Black Seattle is at meetups at Made Space, the CD. And it was a nice, small little group of people that we would meet, and then we would do a little tour around to talk about the things that were Black and how people were taking back the block. And the way that I had people introduce themselves at those meetups was share if you are freshly planted here and you come from somewhere else, or if you're deeply rooted here. Now, definitely, I use the word freshly planted on purpose. I love the metaphor of a garden, first of all. I love plants and metaphors and nature, all those things. But the word transplant has taken on a little sting in the region. So I was like, I don't want people to introduce themselves that way. So you introduce yourself that way, or say if it's complicated, if you got a little mix of all sorts of things going on, and then talk about something that brings you joy. Don't talk about what you do for work. Don't bring that into this particular space. So I was sharing that with a sister named Marie Kide, who is, she runs a organization called Reimagine Solutions. So Marie and I were talking about this, and so I just, her eyes just danced when I was talking about the freshly planted, deeply rooted, and why I did that. And so we had a lot of conversations about just diasporic Blackness. This is one of the passions that Marie has. She's a first-gen Ugandan American, deeply rooted in the CD, though. So we had some great conversations about that, and then it started dreaming up, like, you know, what if I took it even bigger than the meetup? How does the meetup grow? And then we had the conversation that she and I had very frequently in a bigger space. And so decided to go ahead and just start making a specific event just to talk about this particular issue. And so I have, there is a series that I have written up about this, but we'll see how that plays out if after the first one we're able to get, there's a series, there's lots of different divides to explore.
Is it, is it on a podcast, or is it like a series of events?
A series of events. Which is a big undertaking for me, because all of this lives in the capsule. I'm super excited. This lives in the capsule of me being an independent cultural worker, meaning I am unaffiliated with any institution. I do things out of my own, like, imagination and resources. And so I have a whole like speaking business, and where I have specific educational keynotes, and we can talk about what those are about. But that's my way that I influence culture on a personal level, inspiring people to reclaim themselves, reclaim their ambition, and then think about your impact you're willing to make in the world. Hey Black Seattle is how I do my impact in the world, but it's also coming from this very unaffiliated place. So all that to say, if Freshly Planted, Deeply Rooted gets funded to be a series, we can have a series.
So, City of Seattle, King County, For Culture. Hi, how you doing? Come here.
Oh my God.
Come here for a sec. Come here. Zoom in. Okay, cool. So, no, other way, towards her. There you go. Okay, so, for the camera, when is the event? Where should they be?
King Street Station, right there in downtown Seattle, a very accessible, beautiful building.
Right near light rail and the Sounder.
Yes. So, you know, at this point, we are technically sold out, but there is a wait list. But if you are someone interested in sponsoring this event, I'm sure I can find a seat for you.
Yes. Or just, you know, like I'm going to do, just like leer outside of the window and be all creepy, like, you know, just be out there and be like, what's that brother doing out there in the rain? Just like standing there with that weird face. It's like, don't worry, that's just
not
Cliff.
Creepy at all.
Yeah, no.
But it's going to be.
Yes, don't be creepy.
It's going to be a really special event. This is not one of those things where it's like we're going to have a panel of experts to tell the people about their Black experience. We're not doing that. We have some featured storytellers.
Was it Town Hall Seattle? Sorry, I'm messing. I love Town Hall.
We are going to have we have some featured storytellers. I love the lineup. We have Naeem Sharif, one of the original Black Panthers from the party. We have Joy Hollingsworth, who's current city council president.
Shout out,
DeMarlon Sisney, who runs the Data Guys. So he's probably our youngest person who's going to be storytelling. Natalie Curtis, also really cool, like community engagement specialist out here, and Keith Tucker, who runs Hip Hop is Green.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
So they're prepared to share. We'll put it that way. These are people who are there prepared to share. Faraji Blakeney, who runs, who is one of the people behind Yoga Behind Bars.
Oh, cool.
It's going to help like hold space and make sure that we come back to a regulated place if people are feeling their stories a bit much, because I think as Black people, we have gotten out of the habit of recognizing when we're like some of the things that happen to us as being really upsetting. So we have some support there in that way. And all of us will be there. Marie will be in the audience and with like encouraging people to share their stories. So this is meant for all of us to share. There will be questions there that everyone will answer. And then we'll hear from our storytellers, but then we'll hear a lot from the audience. We want all of the people there to be part of the compassion building and perspective sharing and growing. This is like humanities work. This is just learning through narrative, learning through storytelling, really understanding what someone else is going through. And you can't do that if only the people in the front of the room are talking.
Right.
So everyone in the space is going to share. We're going to have some poets in the place to set the backdrop, the emotional backdrop before we even begin. So we're going to begin with poetry. I'm a poet, so I care about. I love that part of.
I used to slam poetry back in the day.
So we got some beautiful poets who are going to start us off.
Yes.
Food.
Yes.
There's a wonderful exhibit that we're going to be surrounded by.
Oh wow.
King Street Station has this beautiful Black exhibit right now that's just phenomenal and rich.
Wait, right now?
Right now.
I
think it's called We Still Dream of Future.
Okay.
And the gentleman's name is Delbert. Oh, what is Delbert's last name? Yes, We Still Dream of Future.
Richardson.
Boom, Delbert Richardson. You better. Come on, have our back.
Yes, there we go.
And Imani Sims.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Imani Sims has an Afrofuturism exhibit there at the same time. So this program will be taking place surrounded by Black artistry.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really beautiful, magical day of coming together. We have an activity that we're going to do called Map Your Roots, where people are going to pin on a big map where some of their family roots are. So by the end of this event, we'll have this lovely installation that is just the Black diaspora that's in the room that day. So just really, really honored that so many people are trusting Hey Black Seattle and us who are putting this together. Like, I'm really proud and honored that people are trusting us with this type of a conversation.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you for your work. I genuinely mean that, because, one of the things for me when I came out here, I was very intentional when I was thinking about where do I go after graduate school, because, growing up in Buffalo, there still very much there are still a lot of parts of me that are very New York, that, very much missing Buffalo, missing my trips down to the city, missing, seeing a beautiful sunrise over, parts of rural New York when I'd stay out there with friends sometimes. But, I've always thought about where can I put down roots to create, to further my family legacy, to further, the work that I want to do, and to be in community with other artsy, far out, creative, interesting people, especially, and, people that also look like me, and this is such a beautiful thing. So thank you for doing this. And,
I was just looking and making sure I have my poet's last name correctly, because I didn't shout out the poet's name. So we have Miss Taz. With a background from the Sudan.
Nice.
We have Daryl Photo, who's got some roots in Cameroon, and we have Chelsea Richardson, who is deeply rooted here in Seattle. And so I just wanted to shout them out too.
And that is a world of Blackness. And I love that. Like, the fact that Seattle's Blackness is not just defined by the trailblazers and fun fact, like, it was a Black man that led to the founding of the state of Washington, that supported early families. George Washington Bush. It's a bit of a mouthful, but, an early pioneer that was literally chased out of Oregon because of their racist policies, settled in Tumwater, counseled, supported white settler families that were coming up to Washington, and that would later on help found cities like Seattle, in Tacoma, in Everett, in Olympia, and all throughout the most populous parts of this state. And still people, like the early trailblazers in the central area that built community out of exclusion and segregation and oppression, and onto like amazing musical and scientific leaders in our community. And for you as a leader in the arts, creating this space for this menagerie of global Blackness and this meeting of the minds and hearts in our community. It's truly amazing. I'm just blown away. And I'm so blown away. I forgot my second question. Wow.
I'm still sitting with like leader of the arts. It feels weird to be called that, because I definitely feel like I'm somewhere, I'm in some soup pointing at the leaders and saying, have you seen this person? Do you know what they're doing? Have you seen this one? That's I call myself the black bat signal. I just want you to see, like, did you miss it? Did you see this black person over here? Wait a minute. I don't think you saw that black person right there.
Well, I mean, the bat signal is iconic too. I'm a comics book nerd, so the second you said that, I'm like, well, hold on. There's Batman, but the bat signal is just as iconic. So you are a leader. Yes.
One day, if I get like a light sign that I can blast into the sky that has like a fist in it or something.
Oh, wait. A red, black, and green light. Yo, and not just in February. In September and October.
People be like, I won't say I won the lottery, but there will be signs.
Yes.
That light in the sky, they'll be like, man, Kiesha got money.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're funding that, right? See, okay. Anyway, yeah. So let's, you mentioned your cultural work, and one of the things that I was thinking about when I was thinking about this interview is like the art space, or rather art spaces, I should say, in Seattle, because I've seen so many talented Black folks in these different art spaces, but I am very cognizant and aware that we still, it's not like an open field. There are still barriers, and I'm curious about your thoughts on the kind of state of Black artists in Seattle, just kind of in general today, and then B, how do you feel, or what do you feel that either, I guess, city or the county, or that we could do collectively to open up more space for Black artists to do their thing?
Okay, so first of all, there are some just genius artists here. Lots of people. I mean, I think that people have gotten used to seeing some of the same people's work over time. But I think one of the blessings of choosing to do this Hey Black Seattle work, which is a lot of like learning and absorbing and cataloging what a lot of people are doing up and down, like all over, I'm seeing just so much beautiful art. And so one thing I would say in terms of the state of art here is that people don't even know the half of it. Like, unless you're making it your business to study that, you're probably missing out on some really cool people. And I enjoy being a fan of the people who are local to me, because then you get to run into like people you're a fan of on the street. Like, people are knowable if you are a fan of the people in your city. So I think that there's so much talent, and I call it just, there's like a resilient creativity here. When you keep having to run into all these weird challenges of this city, people get extra weird creative, and it's super cool. So I love the artist community that I have learned and I've met. That said, I've also become aware of a lot of some of their gripes. And I hear things like, there will be maybe like a restaurant, for example. Let's say a restaurant wants to have an artist come and perform at their thing, at their restaurant.
Okay.
I've been hearing some really horrible deals. Like, people are taking advantage of people looking for opportunities or needing opportunities to express their art, and it'll be like, pay a whole band for a whole evening, just like a couple $100 for all of them to split. That's ridiculous.
What? That is ridiculous.
It's insulting and ridiculous. And I've heard that that's how people are being approached. And
also, it might be illegal.
people are taking advantage of artists' need for a platform and a place to perform. And some people do this in other ways. Like there'll be big entities that want folks to come in for exposure.
Right.
It's like no pay, but you come in and perform at our company event.
A company event?
For the exposure. And it's like, well, what are you exposing me to? You're exposing me to more people who are not going to pay me the next time I get booked. So those types of things, I think a lot of people are looking for their opportunities to express their talents and being disrespected. So that gets me fired up when I see such talented people being offered these scraps and crumbs in such a rich, well, I would say a wealthy place. Right. There's money and there's resource here. And I feel like there are some artists who are being disrespected if you're not considered one of the like shiny objects. And so I don't like seeing that. And I do think there are some programs. I love seeing all the different programs that, let's say, the city and all these different granting organizations have. Sometimes things can get a little convoluted in terms of like,
that's true,
how much you need to do to get access to these things. And it's like, it can be a lot of work for maybe the work that you have to do is a little large in size versus the opportunity of the money.
They want an arm, a leg, and a kidney.
And it's just like, well, this might be a bit much, but it seems like some people are finding their way towards sustainable like art making because of the different opportunities and funding opportunities that are out there. But there's way more artists than I think those that are finding than those resources can find.
So in that case, when it comes to like the philanthropic space and nonprofit space and those grant making opportunities, if you could, I don't know, if you could like identify some key things that could be changed or that kind of those sectors could change in order to make it more accessible or at least just make it fairer, because if you're only, let's say, putting up a little bit of money, it doesn't seem fair that people have to go the extra mile just because funds are scarce in general. And even though this grants making opportunities or this like granting opportunity is only like a few thousand maybe or something.
Yeah, the size of your application should be reflective of the size of the money.
Okay, I think that's reasonable.
That you were writing. So if you are writing a $2,000 check, the application, I mean, does it really need to be 14 pages of insight, accountability, talking about the budget and what people are going to do? Just those are the types of things. Like some people actually put that out into the world and think that makes sense. 14 pages. You keep clicking and you got to write this and then you got to submit this paper and then you got there's so
that's
much.
Half a dissertation.
It's a lot. I mean, it's sections, Some of it's reading.
Okay.
Some of it's writing, but it
does seem excessive.
There's just right size. I would say that's one thing. It's like right size the amount of information, the amount of accountability that you're expecting to the amount of money that you're like. Just step back and look at it rationally. Right. You're giving somebody less than 5 figures, you gotta kind of, ease up a little bit on the things that you're asking for. But there's just some things where there's financial opportunities and it's just hard to get to and find the things. Sometimes it's just like, if you don't know the person who knows, then you won't know that the opportunity is there. Some people are doing a better job about publicizing. Social media, I think, is probably helping a lot. Yeah. But getting the information about what's available, and a lot of people are just missing opportunities for those types of things. But I wish there were more avenues that I could think of right now outside of the grant apparatus. I wish there was more than that to talk about. Yeah, just like just a space where there can be a little bit more holistic support, right? So it's not like, hey, just go out and get grants and that is how we think you're going to sustain yourself as an artist, but instead, hey, let us show you how to maintain a website. Let us show you how to do this, that, and the other thing. Let me show you how to like set up a gallery showing, and also here we'll pay you as you're learning and building your own capacity, something like that, right? And there may be people doing that, and it's more just whatever my limited purview is or understanding of the full ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
But I see pieces. I see people who do parts of it. There's folks who are who have gallery space that are making space for our folks to exhibit. So we have a lot of great, I would say, I don't know how this is in other cities, but I feel really good about seeing all the different Black-owned gallery spaces in Seattle.
Yes.
So I think that there are spaces, and if you're a visual artist looking to exhibit, there at least feel like some good opportunities. I don't know about other different types of art.
I mean, that is something I've noticed too, and I was wondering if it was just me, but I'm glad that there are so many Black-owned gallery spaces here. Any in particular you want to shout out?
I mean, you can shout out Art Noir, Avery Barnes.
Right.
We got
Onyx.
Wanawari. Yes, there's a beautiful. There was a gentleman named Sabran. I think he had like a temporary gallery moment with Seattle Restored, but his it's like Sabrizi Arts. But he was doing that in Pioneer Square. Love that. So I think there's just a lot of opportunity. We used to have the Wow Gallery. I know that's they're not there anymore, but that was another space. They had like a corridor for rotating artists.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, love going. Like Onyx has calls for art where young people can exhibit. Like, so my kid, when she was like 12, was able to exhibit in a gallery in downtown Seattle. That is huge to have on your resume already, and you're not even in high school yet. And that's thanks to the folks at Onyx Gallery having a space that they're holding for Black people. I think that's so beautiful.
You know, and what's really beautiful is like how they're uplifting kids too. I remember when I was a kid and going to those early like writing competitions and like writing and kind of like writing shows where I shared, you know, my work, and it really gave me confidence as a young person. Like, and again, barely, not even my teens, my, you know, like 10, 11,
so
you know,
I think Art Noir, I hope I'm not wrong, but I think they have a youth exhibit right now.
Hey, something to remember, everyone. Art Noir, check them out. Yeah.
Babies are exhibiting. I can call them babies. They're probably teens.
Yeah, I mean, they are babies. They are babies. Let me put it this way: if my own mama can remind me that I'm her baby every day, I can certainly look at the youth and be like, "Y'all are babies, and we love you. Please don't cut up." She still says that to me as well.
Country lingo, don't cut up.
Man, what can I say? You know, we carry some of the memories of our ancestors. Ashe. So last but not least, I want to touch on something that, so in doing research for this, I looked up your website, Kiesha.org, KIESHA.org, for those listening out there. There you go. I'm before E. Yes. And, you know, you wrote some really interesting pieces, and one thing that really resonated with me, because it's overcast, we don't get a lot of sun, that messes with our mental state. We got to keep up, you know, our vitamin D. That's some maintenance that we do out here. But also, like you said, that there are narratives, really toxic narratives out here, that Black people aren't out here, that, you know, we are not, rather the narrative. I won't even say a narrative, but the atmosphere, the fog that in which we have to conform a certain way in order to be seen, in order to be safe in our fields and whatnot, all of that toxicity. And you wrote this really beautiful piece about how, as a gifted professional, and just as an ambitious person, you're always striving to win. But sometimes there are things that we can achieve that might not be really valuable to us as people. It might not serve us as human beings, because at the end of the day, we are human beings. We feel, we experience. And, you know, it struck me when you said trying harder to win at something that is in conflict with your well-being instead of quitting to honor your own needs is failure. And I was wondering if you, how you strike that balance between being, you know, talented, Black and brilliant, you know, and, you know, and authentic, while also being willing to be authentic and kind to yourself and saying, you know what, I am okay. You know?
Yeah. Well, in some ways, some of this was forced for me, because I figured out, I would say, because it took years to understand, but I figured out that I have fibromyalgia. And the way that it is a neurological situation that causes like my brain to send pain signals to my body, even if like you didn't punch me, I can feel like I've been punched. And that comes in, you know, for different reasons, different things trigger it. Stress and anxiety is one of the things. And so I think that over time, what that has done to me is that it has given me guardrails about stopping things that don't feel right, because I have to decide that it's worth feeling physical pain for to keep going, because it's not just going to be stress. It's going to be stress and I'm going to actually feel it physically. So that started shaping my behavior. It started changing the way I was operating. But I didn't realize that, like, that realization of what the reason was came later. What I really started to get was so much of the things that I was taught that were Black excellence felt like they were landing me in very painful places.
Yeah, toxic.
And just the toxic, they're just things where you'd be like, man, I won, but why I don't feel like I won.
Right.
And it's like this notion of a Pyrrhic victory where you win a thing, but by the time you got to the prize, you so defeated, you so beat up, you can't even enjoy it. And or you're just bloodied. And I think that that's one of the things we train our children from the time we're little to like reach for trophies on the other side of barbed wire. And we tell them that that's the win. If you can get to this place where they hate us and you stand on top of them in this place where we are hated, you won. And it's like, whoa, I don't know that I want to be in a room surrounded by people that hate me. Is that a victory? So one of the things that I do, like in my public speaking Kiesha.org live, one of the talks is called Detox Your Dreams. Because there are some dreams that we've been handed, not just on the Black excellence side of things, but as a people that live in this particular country, we've been handed some things to strive for that really do serve someone else's profit purpose. They don't really serve our joy, our well-being, our happiness, but we've been trained to pursue them because this is what I told you. This is what success is like. Here it
like,
is.
go get this trophy beyond the barbed wire, reach in, scratch yourself.
You were motivated. And it's funny you said fog, because motivated by fear, obligation, and guilt.
Oh, okay. Perfect. There you go. We're on the same wavelength. Didn't even know it.
We motivate people using these negative motivators to go get the success that you're going to hate anyway. Now you're looking around. You got a whole house you probably don't want to. You want to live in that neighborhood. You probably got a spouse you can't stand, but you married. And it's like, oh my gosh, you can construct an entire life that looks successful and feels terrible. And I refuse to live that way. And then my body decided that I'm not allowed to. So I'm forced into an authenticity in a weird way. But then because I'm like having to grapple with this stuff all the time, I'm just like, well, how did we get here? And that made me like study Pyrrhic victories and all that kind of stuff to think about it. But that's the rub. It's like you've got to honor, how does it really feel?
Yeah, and actually on that, I would just suggest to everyone before we go to check out Kiesha.org, the I before the E, and also check out Freshly Planted, Deeply Rooted on April 4th at King Street Station. And with that, this has been the Unmasked Agenda, and you can hear we're being played out. So stay righteous, stay awesome, and detox your dreams.